When most people picture Uranus, they picture a pale blue-green dot, featureless, quiet, maybe a little boring. It lacks Jupiter's furious storms. It doesn't shimmer gold like Saturn. No surface features catch the eye. No visible chaos marks its atmosphere. From a distance, it looks like someone dropped a marble into space and forgot about it. But boring is not the same as safe, and quiet is not the same as normal. Astronomers who have spent careers studying this planet will tell you the same thing. Uranus doesn't make sense. It breaks the rules in ways that should be impossible, and the explanation for why it is the way it is points to something ancient and catastrophic, a wound so severe that the planet has never recovered and likely never will. Stand above the solar system and look down. Watch the planets spin. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, they all rotate on axes that are relatively upright. They tilt a little here and there, but broadly they behave like tops, spinning around their poles as they orbit the Sun. Uranus doesn't do that. Uranus is tilted at 98 degrees. It doesn't spin. It rolls. Its axis is nearly parallel to the plane of the solar system, meaning the planet essentially orbits the Sun on its side, like a ball being kicked slowly across a field. And here is the truth that most people gloss over. Planets don't end up like that on their own. Physics won't allow it. Gravity won't allow it. Something did this. The leading theory is a collision, not a gentle nudge, not a graze, but a full-force impact from a protoplanet roughly twice the mass of Earth. This wasn't a brush. This was an obliteration event, the kind of collision that would have released energies incomprehensible to human minds, a force so violent it physically knocked an entire planet onto its side and kept it there. Here is where the tilt stops being just a curiosity and starts being genuinely horrifying. A year on Uranus lasts 84 Earth years. That alone is hard to grasp. But combine that with a 98-degree tilt, and what you get are seasons that don't resemble anything we could survive or understand. Because Uranus rolls sideways around the Sun, its poles take turns pointing directly at it. For roughly 42 years, the North Pole faces the Sun in a state of endless, unrelenting daylight. No sunrise, no sunset, just a cold, distant sun hanging motionless in the sky for 4 decades straight. Then, slowly, the planet rolls past its midpoint in its orbit, and that same pole plunges into 42 years of total, absolute darkness. Think about what that means. If you were born on the sunlit pole of Uranus, you would live your entire childhood, adolescence, adult life, and into old age without ever seeing a single night. The concept of stars would be alien to you. The sky would be a permanent flat gray. And if you were born on the dark pole, you would never see the sun, not once. You would know only the stars, and the silence, and the cold. You would live and die in a winter that stretches across an entire human lifetime. When astronomers turned infrared eyes toward Uranus, the picture changed entirely. The atmosphere was not dead. It was churning, swirling, alive with chemical complexity invisible to the human eye. But even infrared couldn't answer the question that has puzzled planetary scientists for decades. Where is the heat? Every other gas giant and ice giant in the solar system radiates more energy than it receives from the Sun. Jupiter glows. Saturn radiates. Neptune, even at the extreme edge of the solar system, pumps out internal heat from its formation billions of years ago. That heat is the remnant warmth of a world being born, gravity compressing gas and rock until it glows from the inside. Uranus has almost none of it. The atmospheric temperature of Uranus drops to -224 degrees Celsius, making it the coldest planetary atmosphere in the entire solar system. Colder even than Neptune, which is billions of kilometers farther from the Sun. Uranus is an ice giant with no fire left inside it.
Don't let the calm blue surface fool you into thinking the interior is peaceful. Uranus is classified as an ice giant, but the word ice is misleading. There are no glaciers, there are no frozen plains. What lies beneath the upper atmosphere is a dense, superheated fluid, a crushing mixture of water, methane, and ammonia under pressures that would reduce any known material to nothing. The temperature rises sharply as you descend, even as the outer atmosphere sits at its record-breaking cold. And deep inside, in regions of the planet where pressure exceeds anything achievable in any laboratory on Earth, scientists believe something extraordinary is happening. Carbon atoms, stripped from methane molecules and compressed beyond reason, crystallize and fall. Millions of carats of diamonds, raining slowly downward through liquid darkness into an ocean no probe has ever reached, and no human ever will. The upper atmosphere, meanwhile, is rich in hydrogen sulfide. If you were somehow deposited into Uranus's cloud layers, ignoring the pressure that would crush you instantly, ignoring the cold that would freeze you in fractions of a second, your last sensation before death would be the overwhelming smell of rotten eggs. The entire sky, that beautiful, serene cyan blue that looks so peaceful from orbit, would stink. It is a poisonous, freezing, suffocating hellscape wearing a pretty face. Uranus has 27 known moons. Unlike the moons of other planets, which carry the names of gods and titans, Uranus's moons are named after characters from Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Titania, Oberon, Ariel, Puck. There is something almost whimsical about it, until you look at what these moons actually are. The rings of Uranus are nothing like Saturn's. Saturn's rings are bright, reflective, glittering, visible from Earth with a basic telescope. The rings of Uranus are dark, not dim, dark. They are composed of charcoal black boulders and fine dust that absorbs light rather than reflecting it, making them nearly invisible against the void. They are the stealth system of the solar system. And then there is Miranda. Miranda is a moon that looks like it was destroyed and then badly reassembled. Its surface is a patchwork of wildly different terrains that have no business existing next to each other. Ancient cratered plains slammed against young, sharp ridges. Mismatched geological zones that seem to come from entirely different worlds. The current theory is that Miranda was shattered by a massive impact, and its own weak gravity slowly dragged the pieces back together in completely the wrong order. From this ruined patchwork surface rises the tallest cliff in the known solar system, Verona Rupes. 20 kilometers of sheer vertical drop, more than double the height of Mount Everest. And here is the detail that stays with you. Miranda's gravity is so weak that if you stepped off the edge of Verona Rupes, you would not fall. You would float, slowly, gently. It would take approximately 12 minutes to reach the bottom. We have visited Uranus exactly once. On January 24, 1986, Voyager 2 swept past the planet at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. It had hours, not days, not weeks, hours to photograph and measure before its trajectory flung it onward toward Neptune and eventually out of the solar system entirely. Everything we know from direct observation was gathered in that single brief encounter. Since then, nothing. We have sent orbiters to Jupiter. We have put rovers on Mars. We have dropped probes into Saturn's atmosphere. But Uranus has received no follow-up mission, no orbiter, no atmospheric probe, no dedicated spacecraft of any kind. It has remained unreachable, unvisited, and largely misunderstood for nearly 4 decades. Plans are in development. NASA has identified a Uranus orbiter and probe as a high-priority mission for the coming decades. The hope is to deploy an atmospheric probe that would descend into those methane clouds, sampling chemistry and measuring the magnetic chaos before pressure crushes it. That mission, if it launches, might reach Uranus sometime in the 2040s. It does not care that it's beautiful. It does not care that we are watching. It just keeps rolling through the dark, carrying its ancient damage with it, a blue marble haunted by something that happened before our sun had finished forming. And the most unsettling part? We have no idea what else out there is just as broken, just as wrong, just as quietly terrifying, and just as beautiful.